after a weather modification video got flagged, I'm shelving the main one I wanted to show for now and turning to a lesser known catastrophe that'll still paint the picture of what I want to paint. And that is the Great Peshitigo Fire in Wisconsin, which blazed the very same day Mrs. O'Leary's stubborn cow allegedly burned Chicago, and believe it or not, still holds the title of the deadliest fire in American history. You see, when official tales don't add up, firsthand reports like Father Peter Pernin in 1874 cut through the noise. So I've pulled the most striking excerpts to sketch the true horror of that night, details that even 150 years later ring eerily familiar to our modern day infernos. The first quote is this: "The iron tracks of the railroad had been twisted and curved into all sorts of shapes, whilst the wood which had supported them no longer existed. The trunks of mighty trees had been reduced to mere cinders, the blackened hearts alone remaining. All around these trunks I perceived a number of holes running downwards deep in the earth. These were the sockets where the roots had lately been." So evaporating trees, kinda? He continues on the vegetation around, saying, "Whole forests of huge maples, deeply and strongly rooted in the soil, were turned up, twisted and broken, as if they had been willow wands." And willow wands, if you don't know, is usually associated with witchcraft and magic. So, yeah. He goes on, "Strange to say, there were many corpses found, bearing about them no traces of scars or burns, and yet in their pockets of their clothes, equally uninjured. But the watches, scents, and other articles in metal were discovered completely melted. How was it so that many escaped with their lives here and there on the cleared land as well as in the woods?" So all the metal in people's pockets were melted, not their bodies. He describes his own clothing, saying, "My linen appeared at first glance to be in a state of perfect preservation." Then the father describes tiny globules of fire flying about his house at the moment I quitted it. After I read this next, I wanted to show you guys again what I've shown in the past, and it's a photo from the New York World's Fair of 1939, showing old New York. But look in the back. You see that? You see it? Okay, now let's hear the best part. "When the hurricane burst upon us, many, surprised and terrified, ran out to see what the matter was. A number of these persons assert that they witnessed a phenomenon which may be classed with the marvelous. They saw a large black object resembling a balloon, which object revolved in the air with great rapidity, advancing above the summits of the trees towards a house which it seemed to single out for destruction. Barely had it touched the ladder when the balloon burst with a loud report, like that of a bombshell, and at the same moment, rivulets of fire steamed out in all directions. With the rapidity of thought, the house thus chosen was enveloped in flames within and without, so that the persons inside had no time for escape." What does that sound like? Father Pernin recalled that as he plunged into the river, the building burst into flames, and in under 15 minutes, its great beams were blazing on the ground, while the remainder was either consumed or swept away. And though estimates of the death toll range from 1,200, the true number of victims will never be known. Time after time, we see the same devastating acts, but we decide to swallow it whole and move on with our lives. It's not just about the past repeating itself, it's about us repeating the same patterns of denial. What did this eyewitness account sound like to you compared to the neat and tidy story of the Peshitigo fire? What does a river rising 6 inches a minute sound like to you people compared to the mainstream story? Love y'all, and have a good day, and be safe.